Okay, good morning, Braves. So today we're going to be looking at lessons 22 and 23. Now, this is one video for both lessons, so it may take you a little while to do both of them, and so I understand that. So I'll give you a little more time. Um, as far as where it is, you go to modules, and as usual, you'll go down to daily assignments. Um, go ahead and just bring the assignment up. Remember, the document is right here. What we're going to look at is we're going to be looking at puzzles number 3 and 4, and then we're going to complete the exercises for lessons 22 and 23. So if you go to code.org and you sign in, as you can see, we've gone through a lot of different things, and now we're on for loops. So for loops, basically, well, actually, you know what? Let me let the experts explain it. And so I'll go to number 3, and it says today you'll learn about a new kind of repeat loop. Here's a preview of the block you'll be using. And if you notice, the new block actually has a counter already on it. So we used counters already before. We had to actually create them. Now it's actually created for us. Um, so normally a counter has a starting value and then has a stopping value. So you also notice it has a step value. So like if you wanted to count from 1 to 5, you could put 1, 2, 5, count by 1, or you could do 1 to 10, count by twos, which means they'll be using only 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So that kind of gives you a different type of loop to start using on these types of situations that we've been working with. So let me go ahead and I'm not going to run the video and record it. You can watch the video. This video right here does explain a lot about the for loop. Um, if you ever need to, at the very bottom, there's some show notes. I mean, I know we're almost done with code.org, but still, you can actually go back and reference some of these things we've already done. And if you actually go to show notes, it takes you through the whole video and gives you a notes here on the side. And as she's explaining in the video, you can see that the for loop is basically a repeat loop. It's just that now we actually get to change the increments and things like that. So just watch the video, and then you'll be able to do pretty much this whole lesson. I am going to let you know that lesson 1 and 2, let me go ahead and reset that. I don't want you. Okay, so lesson 1 and 2, I did it the easiest way, which is to use the for loop. But what they really want you to do is they just want you to do the normal thing, which is, grab a move forward. You can use the repeat loop, and in the repeat loop, you're gonna have to use a number block, which is we're gonna do it 5 times. So I put 5 times. Move forward, and then you're also gonna collect or get nectar. You put it right there, and punch run. So that's pretty much all they want you to do for the first one. Remember, even though I'm asking for on the document, I'm asking for you to send me screenshots of 22, well, lesson 22 and puzzle number 6. You still need to do the puzzles because at the end of it all, when I do some of the grading, I'll look to see if you've done them all, and then if you did them all, it's an easy 100. If you didn't, then basically, you might get a 70 or an 80. So you got to make sure you do all of these, so they should all look green. Number 2 is basically the same thing. You fill it in the best you can with just regular steps. Once we get to number 5, you're gonna answer this question, which is, it shows you the for loop as it is. So if we're looking at the for counter from 1 to 4, count by 1. Every time this thing loops around, it's going to add one number to it. So it's going to move forward 1. Then it says repeat counter times do get nectar. So every time this thing goes through, it's counting. So When it comes around to number two, it'll move forward only one space because it's only doing it one time, but it'll repeat two times to get nectar. So this will work up until it hits number four because they want you to go to number five. So the bee will move forward and collect all of the nectar from every flower. No, actually, it'll probably be B. The bee will move forward and collect all the nectar from every flower except for one. So it'll get all of them except for, I want to say, the last one. I'm not sure if they worded this correctly or not, but as you saw it stopped right here. Had this been a five, it would have gone all the way through. So basically, that's the way the four loop works. Um, I'm gonna look real quick, make sure you're gonna be okay on 22 because we're actually working with, you're gonna start using the for loop here. That's pretty simple. If you look back at these, it'll reference it, and it's pretty easy. Um, on number 7, you're going to be creating a counter or for loop. But what you're going to do is you're going to create it and you're going to make it 5 to 1, and it's going to count down by 1. So that'll give you the thing to do there. If you need to reference back on this, remember you will probably be using a loop inside of the loop. So what I mean is you'll probably move. We know for sure we'll move forward, but here we have to have a counter. So so we get counter, repeat counter times do, and then you got to collect the nectar. I'm not gonna give you the whole code, but that's pretty much the way it works on that one. Um, well, you know what? I'll go ahead and put it in there for you, and I want you to kind of see what happens. Okay, so that's the way it makes the counter for that, and you can see how this one right here and this one right here work together. So number 8, this one even tells you increments of 2. So basically, you're doing number 7. Now you're instead of going backwards, you're going forwards, but by twos. This one's more just a movement. We've done these in different other um, puzzles in the past where you're gonna just move left, move right, well, move down. You just find the movements, and then you're gonna be using counter to collect the nectar. Remember, some of your friends are in computer science as well, so you can ask them. You can call me, email me as well, and I'll try to help you out with them. But pretty much, this is just you know, uh, using the four counter loop, and all of them are pretty easy. It's just adding increments, adding spaces. So you just got to kind of plan it out. Think, how am I going to move? What do I need to do? Like, I'm going to move for sure. I'm going to move down. And this is only one space. This is two spaces. This is three spaces. This is four spaces. This is five. So that means the counter is going to count by five, but I need to make sure that I understand that I have to collect the nectar too. So that's going to be the tricky one. Um, let me see if I can actually go through that one real quick though. Now that I think about it, so for counter, one, two. I don't want to say 15 because we're not counting like that. But we're going one, two. So yes, one, two, three, four, five. So it's going to five by ones. Then we have to move. We for sure have to turn to the left. He's going to turn to the left. Then he's going to move forward. Then he's going to collect nectar. Excuse me. He's going to have to collect nectar, but he has to repeat it 3 times. So basically what you're going to do is probably put a math loop in here. So we're going to take out this right here, this piece, and you're going to have to, looks like we're multiplying by 3, but what are we multiplying is actually the counter. So what I'll do is I'll get counter, if I can find counter. Let's see where it is. There it is. So counter by 3, get nectar. And every time he comes around, basically that's going to happen. But you're going to turn left. I think this is where the problem is because I'm going to turn left one time. And then he's going to have to move forward according to the counter. So I'm going to have to do another loop. I'm trying not to. I want to make sure I get my movements in, but I don't want to overestimate. So, because every time he's going to take a left, we know he's going to take a left at all these corners. Let me see what that does. And it worked. So basically, you have a loop that uses the forward. And if you notice that this one's counting exactly the way it should, the other loop is getting the nectar. So it's multiplying by 3 because those corners were all by 3s. Um, but pretty much that's the way you're going to do number 12. I want to say 12 is a stair stepping one. Well, this is the challenge one. So just kind of think about what we did in the last puzzle and kind of put that together. And last but not least is 15 or 13, sorry. And that was a stair stepping one. So just kind of reference this one, number 11, to help you with the rest of them and those other ones. And that should get you through 22. 23. Okay, so 23. Let's look real quick. I don't think there's much I have to go cover that one, but I want to make sure. So 23, there has a video at the beginning. So if you need some information, she's talking more about the for loops. Um, I think this one is pretty easy. It's just basically building on what happened in 22. So first one's free play. The only thing I can tell you about the drawing one is just remember the move forward, and the jump, which I don't see a jump on here. So just kind of remember what you've learned as far as like the for loop, and you can actually get 23 pretty easy because in fact, some of them have already been started for you. See, if I start over, it already tells you what you need to do. So just kind of read the prompts and everything at the top, and you should be able to get to 23 pretty easy. If you have any questions, just email me, and we'll see what we can do.